sort of quote-unquote elder figures. But without further ado, tech pauses are concluded, ladies and gents. We get to welcome you in here. IEM Cologne here on the B stream. We're kickstarting things. Stage 1, it's GamerLegion taking on Complexity, and we cannot wait to get this show on the road. Cole will start on that CT side, and it's already early fights coming through. Rez, PR will combine for a killer pieces. Nix and Sixy, the new boys on this Cole side, are shut down. JT now have to try and lead. It's only 3. It's messy from Grim as well, and it's carnage in through second mid. GamerLegion are punishing the overextensions from Complexity. They're down to 2.
Yeah, it seems like they were ready for this pistol, eh? They get in deep, and they will demolish them, to be honest with you. Not a chance into the round. The bomb drops so far away from the action, and they just have no control of the map to work with from here. Really well played from them, really well committed. And again, it does help early in the morning if you are landing your shots, of course. I think Complexity with a rude awakening to kickstart Cologne. It's never nice, but careful, because the Glocks are always capable. Maybe just a second of it there. JT going to be a bit tougher for him. He's got no armor. He has slight bits of information to work with. There's some overfaces. Quick headshots are always possible, but where is this last man? He knows the location of one, but he does not know about Torsen, who's still full HP. Got to be around here somewhere, but just couldn't quite pinpoint him.
Double stack boiler as well, just so unlikely to check it for a second time after he's just got a kill, and he was sort of periodically jiggle peeking after that kill to bring it back into a 1 versus 2, but just didn't spot him crossing in. Nice start, really aggressive push. I love that sort of approach as well from GamerLegion. You're the one setting the tone despite being on the CT side, despite being the ones who don't set the pace in the rounds. You're saying, we're going to bring the fight to you, and we're going to prove that individually we can match. That's a real confidence play. It's one of those that's also very risky. If you lose that as well, it can knock your confidence early in towards a game, but I think that's a perfect way to approach it for GamerLegion. They're going to be really fired up now. So, full bites come through for Colt. Not many teams go for this, especially without a bomb plant. It's upgraded pistols across the board. Holzerk with a UMP as well. Again, another gun we just don't see all too often. So
yeah, I mean, the change to the MP9, right? I think a few people are trying to force some guns back in. The MP7 might be a bit more viable now. Yes, it's more expensive, but it is more effective at range. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. Nix with the first headshot as they go charging in towards A here. Double pit setup, you feel, should be pretty strong. However, the M4 goes down far too easily there. Bomb has been spilled. It buys some time for the rotations, but recovered weaponry, recovered utility, of course. The pesky moto smoke that's always so difficult to get past. They will just about retrieve the bomb. Some damage coming in. There is a gap. So could maybe push through here, but not going to happen. Sixy, this is it. With the M4, is just a monster now, and they can't deal.
Torsen, what have you got for us? Called into a 1 versus 2, make that a 1 versus 1, catches Sixy, trying to set up some level of a flank, and it's now down to Nix. MP9 in hand, sub 40 HP. 1 versus 1, he's going to dance around, he's playing an open angle, and it might be checked. Torsen, quick reaction, and they find. And a big 1v2, but the narrative of that round is, why did we require a 1 versus 2 clutch? It was a force buy for Complexity, with a UMP being the best weapon they could bring to the table. That was much too close for comfort. It's good to get around under their belt, but my god, that was shaky. Carl are probably feeling all right about that, right? It's a bomb plant. It's 4 kills on the flip side as well, so they've done real damage towards that GamerLegion economy. That CT side's not going to be set up in a real way. They might just go back-to-back force buys here, and I don't even think that would be too bad of an idea. It's close, but it's really not a bad round, and as we see, yeah, force buy going to come through. I think this is the right call. 16 towards an AK-47, Galil's alongside him, and it's a util as well. So this is the real reset round here, round number 3. Whoever wins this, especially if GamerLegion are able to deny a bomb plant, for example, then they're going to put double eco on the flip side. So this is the important one to kickstart this map.
Yeah, ballsy call for sure. Going to be headed towards B early on. There is only one player here. Flash comes round. Oh, deep smoke. So he doesn't have it for the close angle. Not respecting how near to this B bomb site they are going to be. Does manage to pick one up at CT. So there you are. It's all prepped. It's a decent nade, but he will go down. Is there a chance at a trade? Is there a chance to stop them moving in? And it looks like yes, but kind of by Complexity's choice. They're opting not to go charging through this smoke at this time. They might give it a reaggress in a few moments, but they have no utility left at all. I mean, this doesn't look good to me.
This is where things become very difficult. There's also the potential, as that smoke fades in towards mid, which it's just about to, as our lovely graphic shows, it's the potential of a flank brewing too, but they're here ready for the fight. They've got to go dry here. They've got to try and isolate fights. Rez finds one. Grim will drop, saved for 60 as he's caught by Kersey, and it's all starting to dwindle here for Cole. Nix gets one, but he's shut down, and Torsen with another double to close out the round better from GamerLegion, but it all comes back to what you were saying, Scriv. That is about them running out of utility. And, you know, unfortunately, you can't really blame them. There's two things that really kind of shoot them in the foot there. That util that's dropped from CT, that nade that softens basically all of them up as well. And when they went for the execute, they didn't commit, right? They were sort of dipping the toes in towards the water, checking the temperature, but not quite committed to the cannonball into the pool. And that cost them. They needed to be very headstrong there and just basically say, right, riflers, we need you to step up.
Oh, JT goes digging. He had a good spawn. He felt like taking the first fight. The utility will push him back. But yeah, I think we're going to see it a lot from Complexity, unfortunately. You know, the force buy round in round number 2 is also a good showing of it, where I feel like they have good initial ideas. They just really do struggle to sort of finish their dinner at times. So I think that there's going to be a lot of rounds like this where they maybe bring it close, or they're in the right place but can't quite execute, and maybe we're going to see it again here. JT opens up at middle. He's distracted them away from the pit area. ZTR stands strong, loses his life. Good chance for the bomb plant now. Halzert got to be very careful. Takes a quick dink. So they will indeed let him in. This is dangerous. This is very dangerous indeed. Another dink as well round from Grim here. Halzerk's managed to get the side swipe, and it's a force. Sorry, it's a save out from GamerLegion. They lose out to the force. This is kind of wild.
Yeah. I mean, Torsen, maybe even a little bit more HP, he would try and give that 1 versus 2 a go. He's already had it under his belt on the same exact site, but credit to Cole, it's such a basic corner sense, but sometimes simplicity is best, and this time it works well for them. I'll finally get that first round under their belt, and I mean, better late than never as well. You know, we already spoke about how this map really feels like quite the necessity in a way for Complexity. Grim will go down to the bomb, but really not the end of the world. That's a really big round to be taking with minimal investments coming through when the starts haven't been fantastic. But the big thing, and I think the way that Complexity will be approaching this, is their mindset's got to be, and I think this is exactly what sort of JT will be instilling along the team, is look how close we've got in every single round. It is coming. Wait, boys. Our chance is there, and they finally get it. So, good work. We see a very quick timeout get called as well as GamerLegion. Ashley wants to get on the mic, and I think he probably notices this himself, right? These rounds have been getting a little too close for comfort each and every time, and they finally got over the line. Now they've got to buy behind it too, with actually a fairly decent amount of residual cash as well. They've got to be careful. Investment on the flip side for GamerLegion isn't exactly flourishing. FAMAS, MP9s coming through to bolster up these M4s. They've got to find a bit of a miracle here if they want to keep this lead in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of strange. I think in the early stages here, GamerLegion have been playing quite confident, like they are just flat out better players, and they just have to be careful not to get lost in that ultimately. So, dangerous territory, as you say. And they will opt to full spend here, so gonna have to do something with this in the back of your mind as well. Maybe talked about already. If you go south early, lose a player or two, I think you just have to save immediately. So
yeah,
a lot of importance on these early exchanges.
Yeah, that's for sure. Early damage dealt towards Torsen. Just going to be softened up. As we mentioned, that buy is a little awkward. MP9, FAMAS, 5.7. It's not the best in a way, especially with Torsen not being tagged. There's actually a real world that he might even swap. Give the M4 over towards Reds, for example. Maybe picks up the 5.7 himself. Something along those lines, just because of how low he is. But he's sticking around for the fight. Oh my god, he takes even more damage. That's definitely dicey. And just as that pressure towards B is being put on, they're taking long control.
Oh, ZTR got to be careful. I mean, never going to expect a boost above this smoke. How often do you see this? Smoke comes in at library. Kind of worked out there. It's pretty easy for them to silent drop, I think, by virtue of that step being slightly higher. So that's kind of a nice touch. Nothing comes of it, and they now have to deal with the brunt of the defense. So far, so good, but in comes a flank, and Rez might just be hidden away. Here he goes, unchecked for a while. 5-7 up close is deadly, of course. Bomb getting planted. Rez hidden away in the pit. Needs one more to make this doable. He's going to get it. And Torsen with the trade will make it happen here for GamerLegion. A big round secured.
Yeah, Rez has gone absolutely huge there. We needed a bit of a hero, and he's made that 5-7 sing. That long shot as well to the planter, really, really well done. Smiles all round for him, and a bit of a celebration there at the end as well. That's a huge round to take in response. In the same vein, the complexity, their first round on the board was a little bit of a scrappier put-together investment. That's a big one to be taken. Celebrations, of course, as you can expect. This is such an important one. So, 3-round lead kept in their favor, and pressure back on towards Cole to respond. And GamerLegion, despite this map obviously having its issues for them in the past, so far actually looking pretty solid. Well, I'm not seeing any glaring issues in the early part of this game.
No, and this is maybe one of the things that, you know, we were going to be looking out for. Would Inferno be a tough time for them? I feel like you really do need to have Inferno down pat, especially at the moment. It's one of those things, it's like, do you put work into Overpass, or do you actually bolster the other maps that you're already slightly comfortable with? And I think with how quickly we've had Overpass in, you perhaps just leave it to evolve naturally, you know?
Slow around it, as Caller just... have a look around. Torsen, right idea, right find as well, JT. Just try something a little audacious, and that'll cost him his life. At the same time, they're moving towards the A site. It's Nyx for the first, but down below, ready to be met by PR. Nyx gets his second, and now also the site to work with. Moto Smoke to come through. Full retake going to be required here in this 3 versus 3.
Are they going to go for it? Of course. Moto Smoke in. They do have an advanced position here towards short before the bomb has really gone down. It just gets planted. ZTR is so far up, so he can gather information by process of elimination. Nice boost up. Rez finds one, and ZTR, I think he's pretty confident that it's probably just more of a pit plate than anything else. He will go down, unfortunately. It's all on Torsen once again in the 1 versus 1, and Grim just has to stay alive. 25 HP is not enough to take a wide swing or a fight here, but he will give it a bit of a look and try and grab some timing. Not going to work, and GamerLegion again coming away with a key clutch.
And this is where we look at Torsen as an individual, and this is where his stock rises, and this is why Ash believes in him. You know, a player that in the tier 2 wasn't really notably amazing, right? You know, his previous stints in a variety of different kind of Danish sides, he was all right? Wasn't a hero player, just a role player who sort of did his job and didn't really even put up the best numbers, but this kid keeps stepping up in these big moments. The amount of clutches he's won already, or multi-kill rounds he's had already, he's absolutely flying. He's so solid, so self-confident, and you can see they have real belief. Cole, their first timeout called as well as we get on the mic here, but you can tell this is not going to plan in the early part as well. We need stability on this T side if we want to make Inferno sing for us, and so far for Cole, it's been this story of close but no cigar. They're getting down to these clutch 1vx situations, but they're struggling to see them in their favor, and it's not good enough, and they're actually at quite the deficit already, 5-1. They can reinvest in. That's the luxury of lost bonus plus bomb plant. But I don't know, I just think the mental's probably in such a weird spot right now. They're bit by bit, as they keep losing these clutches, they keep losing the confidence. First time we get to see the new boy Kersey on the AWP. It's PR though who opens things up, swinging a fine. Nyx deleted. AK up close as well. Goes 1 for 1. Tian needs to be a little careful, but he does have support, and that's all that matters. There's an MP9 there. And Rez playing in through CT with the M4. Flashes come over. They wanted to fight early. Rez going to fight his way through it, but he doesn't clear water. ZTR will. Trait is good. Pistol pulled out, and ZTR makes it a second. All down to one man. Grim, what have you got for us? Been another round from you, but it's Kersey's AWP. Sings loud to close that one. Big round to find.
Yes, and it feels like that is maybe one of the more dominant rounds that we've seen in recent history as well, which GamerLegion really do need to just start solidifying their corner. Get that money in a good place, maybe survive a loss as feels inevitable in the ebb and flow of Counter-Strike. Really solid hold, though. The counter utility looked a bit dodgy initially, didn't it? You know, Rez just went flying in, headless chicken, no idea where they were, got a shot in the back. But it was well held. I suppose his distraction was enough to get the job done.
Uh-oh, they're going to go quick. Oh, that's going to work. Grim, drive by, PR, night-night. I'll see you next round, mate. That's not exactly the way you want to start things. And Rez has to actually be quite careful here. He is alone. And he's going to beckon over the support, but he has to play time. He basically can't deny this bomb going down.
Yeah, this is problematic, to say the least. Full post plan to deal with, and I think they are calling a save by the looks of it. They also don't quite know what's on the other side, right? Is there one of those pesky hero rifles that you sometimes see? Seems to have taken off in tier 2 once again. How much armor is there, etc, etc. So they really do not want to test it here and just hand it across. You know, you're in a good position. 6-2 still looks pretty decent, right? So there's no need to get excited and give away even more weaponry. And hilariously, okay, Grim will manage to get it, but that was a bit of a tough find.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the only rounds that Cole have found so far are these kind of low-buy, weird, scrappy drive-by rounds. But the big question you got to ask yourself in situations like this, is it replicable? And, I mean, so far the answer is just no. You can't rely on rounds like this, but you'll take them, right? And it might just bolster you up a little bit. I understand GamerLegion going for the save. It's the meta. Everybody does it. Oh, James, how you've cursed our beautiful game. But I don't really... I mean, I can't really say anything bad. It is the right call, monetarily speaking, especially. So, back underway. They've already guaranteed, worst case scenario, GamerLegion, you've got a tie game at the half. That alone's pretty good. Any more for any more will be huge. PR and ZTR combine for a 2-for-1 opener.
Yeah, showing some really good aggression here. Just the get up and go of this team has looked solid so far. GamerLegion not messing around. The flow seems good. Kersey fitting in. You know, no real problems. It is Torsen who is taking over the game, to be fair. He's been in a lot of clutch situations as well. Rez swinging out. Wants to go for another, but he will think better of it. Peek at short as well. And the 1v1s are just being won all over the shop right now. This is not great for Cole. They can maybe make it look scary in the low buy, half buy situations, but the full rifles are really starting to go against them now. 60 alone. They know about him. He has been seen and he's double swung, so not a chance.
Lead now guaranteed. This is continuing to be such a flourishing CT side by GamerLegion. Second time out going to be taken, and again, understandably so for complexity. They're in a spot where, like we mentioned, you have to have some level of a foundation in this first half. If you don't, there's just no chance of expecting them to go on such a tear on that CT side, especially in the current form that GamerLegion are in. Everybody's sort of having their moments to shine right now. This is really difficult. I understand that they've got to make something out of this T side if they want any chance on their map pick as well. And we'll come back to what we were saying in the pre-show. It really does feel that complexity sort of have to win Inferno if they want to push it towards that decider, which then becomes a little bit more of a 50-50 map. Nuke has been a very good pick for GamerLegion, and all expectations is that they win it. So tumultuous time right now for the Americans. 7-2, 5-round buffer. We buy back in, sure, but a couple of Galils have to be worked around here. Kersey, I like the risk. Squash the reward, like it's a kill. An opener on towards Nyx. Nice find that he gets out scot-free.
Again, Yeah, feels like a bit too common of an occurrence here. PR for more will be taken down, so not happening for him. So at least there's that. Complexity, able to even things up and keep it interesting here. Torsen backs off from B. They're trying to fake out A and draw attention. It seems to be working. The smoke will, of course, buy time. Torsen trying to fake that he's dropping back. 1-for-1's probably not quite going to be enough here.
Yeah.
They could pick up the pace and get that bomb down, but they are playing it too tense, and it gives time for ZTR to rotate.
And he gets time for that smoke to come down. He also heard that smoke tag as well, hence why he's spamming. Oh, this becomes really janky. Rez. A little jiggle peek and a fine 60 deleted. And unfortunately for Complexity, this round is feeling like it's probably lost just off the back of, as you mentioned, their lack of confidence. Both spotted as well. ZTR knows 1-for-1 in this instance is good. And it puts Grim in a 1v2. Both players over towards GamerLegion are full HP. Surely an impossible state to be in. Tap. Who committed from CT. That smoke broken open. It's Kersey to close. And another fantastic round for GamerLegion. They're loving life. Smiles around, and understandably so. This is a great showing, Scruv.
Yes, absolutely. A fantastic way to kick things off. I think we're not necessarily expecting the biggest of things, but if there's any team that people are behind and expect to have done a lot of work in their player break, I think this is one of them, as they do have some of the hardest working players and, of course, coach in the game.
Yeah.
Torsen, through the smoke here, doesn't want to fully commit. They'll just take the banana control and work with that.
Tech9s, again, they've been a bit of a pesky problem for Complexity twice already. They've picked up rounds on a bar like this, so let's see if Cole can do it once again. GamerLegion, got to be a little careful. This time, 1-for-1, but a double from Kersey. Spray down, bomb spilled forward, and surely round concluded as Rez from pit finds Nyx. This has got to be done. Kersey swings for his third. And this time, the Tech9s not feared by GamerLegion. Another big round on the board, their 9th as well. All the North American side are still fast asleep. The time zones haven't changed internally for them. GamerLegion are flying to a map 1 at the moment.
Yes, disappointment all round, and again, it's the nature of the rounds, right? They've brought things close in those low buy situations. All power for Halzerg, doesn't quite land it. There wasn't much to hit, to be fair. Kersey shows him how it is done. And they are not messing around here, Complexity, bringing some aggression into this. Halzerg just trying to take matters into his own hands at the end of the day. Soon as he crosses this point, though, there's 2 players ready and waiting for him, so does have to be careful, does need to know the dangers of it. He calls on some support to try and help him clear these angles as they move in together. Rez, though, with the unlikely spot. However, he's lost his boiler presence. So now he's on an island, now he's alone. Flash comes in, and it doesn't quite blind up enough. ZTR's here quickly, can he slow them down? But for the first time in a while, Complexity get themselves in a winning position.
His smoke bounced off the ledge there as well, so it's actually got a slight gap on that right-hand side. Hence why he's had to cross. So an unorthodox spot. And a big flank. Not the find. Initially damage dealt towards Halzerg. ZTR's pulling a risk here. He's going to sit inside of the smoke, just waiting for presence to come through. Reaction's good for 1, but only 60 on the trade. It feels like this one should be concluded. I might be planted as well. Halzerg waiting, but he is smoked down himself. Torsen and Kersey. Torsen's been so good in the clutch and so much damage dealt. 60's lucky to be alive. This is still on a knife's edge, and there might still be a bit of a chance.
Nade does decent damage. 1 taken down on the totem pole. Kersey the next to fall. And Torsen is left to do it all here, of course. Usually a save, but he's going to have to move in for it. Not going to happen for him. 60 takes him down. 9-3. It's not great. It's 3 isolated rounds in from Complexity, but it is maybe, just maybe, something to work with. I say tentatively, we'll have to find out. This is kind of where, you know, the good from the great get separated if they are able to come back into things into the second half. But a lot of work going to be required here now.
Yeah, absolutely. This was not the showing that I think Complexity wanted at all. We're going to have to see whether in that second half they can step up, but for now we're going to head to a little bit of a break. We'll see you soon.
To another, what's it gonna be? Where's your head at? Where's my head at? Watch how the waves are chasing each other, and they let it be. Where's the shore at? Where's the shore at? Loud gets louder, fast gets faster. I don't know which of us is right, but let's just get on the same page tonight. The same page tonight. I don't know which of us is right, but let's just get on the same page tonight. The same page tonight. To lay my head on your shoulder for a minute, babe. We grew stronger, we grew stronger. Loud gets louder, fast gets faster. You know what told me.
Welcome back in. Complexity, not the first half they would have dreamt of heading in towards the Cathedral of Counter-Strike. GamerLegion are looking excellent. They've set themselves up with a 9-3 half before heading in towards the T side on their opponent's map pick. Complexity need this map in this series if they want a chance of taking it. Nuke doesn't feel like a good prospect, so all signs point to what this CT side can now do. And Scriv, we're actually very quickly getting to the now or never territory. If they don't win this pistol, it actually could be over before it even begins.
Well, yes, this is very true, and then the rest of the series does look scary for you. This was meant to be the harder move for GamerLegion, and at the moment, anything but. They've not really been massively tested. A couple of moments where they just lose enough control of the A-bomb site, and that's about all Complexity have been able to get. It feels more like luck than anything. Nade stack here. No one in towards CT. Flash is coming in. They got the Julies up top. Grim for one, looking for a bit more. He will be denied, and unfortunately he was all by himself, so Complexity taking a risk in the defense that allows that bomb to go down with a simple 1-for-1 trade.
What do we do now as well? In this 4 versus 4, but that smoke, that alone makes life really difficult. They're going to try and funnel them in towards Rez, who spots out one, can't quite connect. Looking for the kill, and he will get it. Down goes Horzerk, and down surely go the chances of Complexity. JT a kill of his own, but he's shut down. And that'll be GamerLegion double digits, 7 rounds ahead, and surely the beginning of the end here for Complexity and map number 1. Their chances are dwindling, and GamerLegion, it just feels like they've barely put a foot wrong. Another really, really good pistol. They move as a pack, so utility comes down to funnel them in towards fights where their heroes can step up, and Rez does exactly that. PR has his moment as well. Beautiful, beautiful work. No complaints from me.
Well, as you said, do or die was pretty quickly around the corner, and we are now there. So Complexity going to have to, I mean, find like 4th gear, honestly. They really have not been driving all that fast so far here at Cologne. It is not looking good on Inferno at the very least. As we've mentioned, the series as a whole looks difficult from here on in, but always possibility. That is the game of Counter-Strike, of course, and there's some experience there on Nuke, just really not as much as GamerLegion. And it would have just been nice to bring your first map competitive. You know, you might be missing that sort of 10% because of, like you say, bits of jet lag maybe, or just not quite warmed up into it. Again, we're still not necessarily bedding in, but getting Sixy and Nyx used to this environment as much as possible. And this is Cologne, this is a big deal. You know, you might be missing a little bit in game 1, but for it to be this one-sided is really just not a good sign. You might argue for the rest of the tournament, right? And it is just the double elimination here. You're out pretty quickly if you can't get yourself going. Nyx dealt with, and that's the A-bomb site, just like that.
Needed that. Literally, you know, you're spot on, man. That is the A-bomb site. We needed that kill from Nyx. I mean, even if he had got that kill, I don't know if it made too much of a difference. We've gamble stacked for Cole, but, I mean, you're so right. Losing that aim duel alone seals the round. So you just shell up and save it if you are Cole. The only issue is, are you given the luxury of a save? As you can see, there is a hunt brewing. ZTR getting in the back lines as well, and he'll actually be able to sort of get all of this church control for free. There's no information to be gained here, and he's just obviously doing his due diligence, checking every corner, every nook and cranny. They look like they might just avoid him, bar Horzerk, who is periodically checking. The gun up, mate, it's going to be needed, and well, finally we'll get his kill. Takes a little tag, but everybody else should be safe. 11-3. And we are on that brink of now or never. And unfortunately, again, they just don't have a lot to work with for Colt. GamerLegion, they haven't really even been required to kind of get out of second gear here. They have been coasting through, and it's been working very, very well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as I've said, the few rounds that they've lost have just come down to like, if only I'd hit one more bullet and we'd have kept control of A. If only I hadn't been caught with a nade out. You know, a few just unlucky moments that are going to happen. They're just inevitable in 99% of games that you play. But other than that, they have been controlling the game, as the scoreline reflects banana control, banana aggression, in fact, for Complexity. So they're trying their best desperately to get something going for them.
Ooh. Close. Rez waiting around this corner. So far as well for GamerLegion in terms of opening duels. Obviously a lot of this been from this first half, but Kersey and PR are normally the ones who are setting the tone a little bit. So we look towards them again here. And look at B as well. Not a single body there. It's Rez going to find the first as Sixy just overextends his shoulder, peeks round that corner, and a silver platter as Rez is gifted an opener. They're still staying gambling towards A, but the bomb's moving towards B, and he's got 2 bodyguards to support him here as well. Rez, one more, looking for a third, and he finds it. Giving no look in. They've gambled A, and Rez is feasting. He gets the support of PR as well. And they realize nobody's home towards the B side. Bomb will go down. The last remaining man of Nyx is here. Stuck in towards Mini Pit with a 5-7. Half armor, a hope and a dream. He's obviously not going to be giving this a go. Any gun is an upgrade, and he might get the chance of an AK. very least, Rez has fallen. But a quick trade, a quick find. That'll be 12. Map point on their opponent's map pick. GamerLegion, fantastic.
Yeah, that's Asher's boy right there, of course. He's been singing the praises of Rez since he joined this team. I think a pickup that he's very, very proud of. Brings experience, still young enough to have great mechanics as well. And you just see it here on the replay. What is that first shot? You know, he's barely on the screen. Crazy work. Absolutely crazy work. And a guy that I think is gagging to get back to that arena. So we'll see if they can indeed make it there in quick time. Holzerk says a bit more Inferno required. It's a nice shot from him and a little whoopsie-daisy on the silent jump. But there's actually nobody close enough to short to hear it. So no harm, no foul. Either way, first time on the C side, it feels like GamerLegion are under threat.
Yeah, they're not so silent jump, but still Holzerk. What a flick and a find. As PR was just getting around that pillar as well. Shoulder protruding, gets deleted. So yeah, maybe, as you mentioned, single-handedly, Holzerk saying, there's still a little life left in this game. We're not dead just yet. And it's these sort of situations where you really see the stellar players shine. They know that backs up against the wall and they've got to put up on a bit of a show, but Holzerk overflicks. And he will be punished by Kersey, who could opt to pick up the AWP if he wants to. Looks like he's going to still opt to keep that Galil for now, but he makes it shine. Back into a 3 versus 3. 60, he's the shine himself. He'll find Rez round the corner while Flash delivers. And his ZTR thrust into a 1 versus 2. Smoke down Moto, bomb plant, and a wealth of time to set up in this 1v2.
I do like his chances here. Swaps across to an AK as well, and he has many different angles that he can choose from. Opts not to go for a super early fight. Doesn't quite know where to expect them. I think one from middle is not a hop, skip, and a jump. Did he hear the boost up? Did he hear a step? He definitely seems sure of at least one. It's a quick move here into the apartments. He's got to be careful. Grim charging him down with that AUG will fall, and it's low HP JT with no kit available. 10-second timer gone, and ZTR to finish it off 13-3. And what better way to shut them down than with a clean 1 versus 2.
Brilliant stuff. And also as well, just double performances and so many different GamerLegion can pick up a 2-0 to kickstart IEM Cologne for them. And getting ever closer to stage 2 as well, joining the big boys quite literally in the cathedral as they want to push for that crowd experience. Let's get the show on the road, of course. GamerLegion will be starting on the T side, Complexity on the CT side.
JT takes a peek, but is denied the information. It's actually quite a quick round here. JT ready in at mini, as he will take the first. He's got some support here as well. Surely got to net this kill, but doesn't quite get Torsen. So he's lucky to be alive. Fighting up against the P250 now as well. Risky move, just gathering info. They're rolling slowly down secret, but waiting for the main man. It's PR on the lurk, having a joker, as they call this. So we'll see what he's able to find. Grim, meanwhile, holding down the main fort with the Julies, but it's very touch and go, and I don't think they appreciate that PR is in behind. There was a man at Hell who thinks he's got ramp control, but it's not the case, so PR looking to take the round into his own hands, and he will net both the kills. Perfectly played. Bit of lucky timing on his side, but he will capitalize. Holzerk, though, takes his head clean off his shoulders, so now where is the bomb going? And they're ready for an upstairs attack. JT left to do all the work. It will be a trade out from 60, however, and now Torsen with that low HP from earlier on has got it all to do. Where does he go? How does he win this? I think even he doesn't quite know how to get it done. They'll allow him the bomb plant at the very least. They do not want to mess this one up. They don't know that he's low either. So the round is certainly up for grabs. Torsen clearing some angles, both coming in from Hook. Can he get the flick? No, he can't. And it will be Complexity on the board.
A really unorthodox pistol from GamerLegion, even right at the start. We're going for outside presence. Sure, pretty normal, but doing it dry feels like a road call. Not even a single smoke to give them some level of coverage on the cross. Even if it was one smoke with gaps on either side, it still gives you a real decent amount of control in a way. PR, it's a great effort from him. It's just this shot from Holzerg. That flick and a fine, that's what flips the round back in their favor. So, kind of great work from Cole to recover that. I think PR, yeah, fair enough. I mean, he knows how quick that shot was from ramp. He did great work to give them a leg up, but I still think the idea behind that round, little weird, little funky. Probably read something into about how outside control and not being great for Cole, but not to be in that one. So they'll start well on the CT side, exactly what we want to see, but we are going to get a force, understandably as well, as it was a bomb plant. PR trying to get down, and he just about will. Fine margins as Nick's open things up on towards Torsen. Opening kill takes a lot of damage for it as well. Still going to be careful of res around this corner. They're trying to drop down. It's bomb on the back of Kersey, and a molly will force all three of these Hell players away.
ZTR watching up top. Got to win this fight if they have a chance at the round. Not going to happen. Bomb will get planted. And man, I feel like Complexity already, you know, 2 rounds in, playing very nervous, not wanting to take those swings, not wanting to overface. And there is maybe such a thing as too much respect, so we'll see if they've given that across. We got Rez on the AK. Super, super dangerous here. 4 coming in from ramp. It's a good smoke. It will force that AK into a less favorable angle. Grim goes down very quickly. The AK chimes in early, and now with the 3 versus 3, they don't really feel the need to get too excited here. Smoke going to come down onto the bottom. Get the kit in there is what they're after. MP9 to try and deny it's not going to work, and PR, he can't stop that defuse. Rez can't stop it either. And it will be Complexity just about taking it over the line.
Fine margins though, isn't it? I mean, he even does a little bit of damage on towards the diffuser just as he's getting it, but all that matters, round win and another 1 point on the board. This is sort of exactly the same feeling too as map number 1 was, but on the flip side, GamerLegion were finding rounds on the board. They were close, but all that matters is the lead that you're building, and this is the same narrative we've got to build now for Cole. It's close but no cigar for GamerLegion, and it will instill confidence in them, as we see with the reinvestment coming back through. 3 AKs. And Galil on a Tech 9, hang on. JT is being completely unchecked there. It's only 1 down towards Secret, and he went loud as well, so JT knows all about this. And look at the space. Look at the information Torsen's gathering here. He is getting so much that there's basically no B presence. If they can get out through ramp here, they can split towards B so well. They've just got to get out, and JT's actually going to go looking. He knows somebody's down here. He smells a rat. The question is, what corner are they tucked in? Shoulder spot to Torsen. Surely a dead man. Unless the Spidey senses tingle, he will fall, and down he goes. AK upgrade for JT.
Chaotic game so far. A lot of flanks, a lot of catch-offs. A few gaps in both the attack and the defense, to be honest. Up top, Holzerg ready to help out Nyx. This is a great spot to be in. Flash comes in. They're not super prepared. He lets them cross. This is getting kind of weird. What's going on? Oh, no, and he's dropped the bomb at his feet as well. It couldn't have got any worse for ZTR. They try and sort of fake things out there, but the fake's been read, and now the bomb is in the hands of the CT side. 25 seconds left. Surely not a chance to get back into this round, you would say. Trying to beat the man up top. They will get that done. So they do actually get the bomb back under control, but then there's somebody waiting for them downstairs. So how are they going to play around this? JT again giving a lot of space. Lets them cross. A fake comes in with 10 seconds left. Rez with a beautiful read will now get the plant round. Grim got to be careful as double doors being covered. Rez gets another, and PR to finish it off. Oh my goodness. 4 versus 2 converted.
That is nuts. What a round to take as well, and you could just see panic started to instill in towards the way Cole were approaching that, and it costs them. Oh my, what a round to be taken as well. Some nut shots. Rez walks away with a quad kill as well, by the way. Insane round from him. Fantastic work, and yeah, you could just see tilt starting to play in. They overface, they overfight. It's unnecessary from Complexity, and they're punished. You can't make mistakes against a sharp GamerLegion side like this. I'll punish you every day of the week. What a fantastic way to respond. And look at what it's done to the buy over towards the CT side as well. Triple MP9 Scout and a 5-7 to round it out. They lose this. The bank is empty and the wallet's pretty damn thin. Molly, Grim is burning. He's dropping down. Everybody's flat. It's ZTR who kills Torsen with his Molotov. It's Carnage here on the top side, but Carnage that's favoring that of GamerLegion somehow.
What is going on, man? Absolutely mental. ZTR, the only healthy one on the backside, wins his fight. Very important. Halzerk, I guess so, yeah. There's not really too much else he can do. But he also gets very unlucky. He landed a tag with the scout on, again, one of the undamaged players. I think even ZTR was like a low enough HP to go down to the scout. So just really unfortunate, really wild sort of round. But GamerLegion at least proving that they can change the pace and style of their attack.
Yeah, I kind of love it as well. You know, just off the back of them really sort of testing the waters and getting control and playing this sort of methodical approach, they're saying, all right, we just went around sort of out of nowhere. We know the money's still going to be in a weird spot because we're super early in the map. Let's go for a quick one. Let's rush them. Let's see what they do. Also goes down to the bomb as well. So all that for nothing in the end in terms of a save. Not what you want to see. And 3 remain alive for GamerLegion. We go back in towards the highlights of this round, and it's absolute carnage all the way throughout. A little bit of tilt, you know, you can see he goes down to his teammate's Molly, but thankfully the recovery was so good there. It's a tight square. And unfortunately, nothing saved, nothing gained for the North Americans means nothing to bring into round number 5. So it should be a simple lead to take back for GamerLegion. Looks like we're going to gamble stack 8. And already just looking for presence towards ramp is a good sign that GamerLegion might just avoid this.
Nothing coming as they will slowly edge out ramp. Oh, don't think that's where that's supposed to go, but it's all good. There's nobody around to see it apart from the entire counter-striking world, yeah. But the enemies didn't see it. That's all that matters. Or rather, I suppose the enemies should see it, and then they would have been blind by it. But either way, it's one of those rounds where if you're going to fail a flash, probably the best time to do it.
Yeah, do it when it just doesn't matter. B-side open. They've realized now as well, nobody's home. So, a plant for single. Just a tap just in case. Torsen is going to start to get maybe a little bit overwhelmed. Needs to be a little careful. There's bodies here looking for fights and actually can't get the second despite the low HP player of Grim. Drive by. So he'll get an AK and he'll just go and tuck his head unsaved. Nothing really else they can do in this one. I wouldn't be too surprised before heading in towards the next gun round if Cole tempts a timeout. Just have a brief moment to call for a pause, try and get back into this a little bit and try and say, right, this is what we've been seeing from the T side. This is the pace they're setting and this is how we're going to punish. But I would actually like a tactical timeout, just take a breather. They called a couple really early in towards Inferno when things weren't going well. I feel like this is a deep enough hole in a sense that it's worthwhile going again. AK saved, that's a nice little silver lining. That is about it. All in all though, good work.
Shaping up very well. Maybe not quite as explosive as Inferno. Bit more work going to be required, but that always feels like the case on Nuke, to be fair. As we've seen a couple times, timing can just go against you, and that's the round. But it does feel bigger moments, the 4v2 especially, have been swinging the way of GamerLegion. And sort of at the end of Inferno, seeing it a little bit here, I think the team dejected on that complexity side. They do feel like a lot of the unfortunate moments that they've had recently, a few overtime losses that I think they should have closed out, right? Happened a couple times at Fissure. I think they feel like it's just happening to them. You know, there's a bit of a why me type mentality that comes into things, which, again, you can't blame them because it has been a tough run in recent months. Sure. And, you know, you got this big major on home soil. You just get the report that's like, oh, yeah, your kind of main prong of the attack is not going to be able to make it. It's very, very difficult for them. So, yeah, a month off maybe doesn't feel like long enough, and they barely had that.
Yeah. there's that attack pause I was talking about as well. I think this is the right call to be taken here. Slow it down, take a breather. Let's not get too overwhelmed, too tilted in any of these situations. You can see from the cams as well, they were looking a little dejected, especially when they lost that, essentially a 2v4, right? So understandably why they just try and slow things down a bit. For those who have been sticking with us on the B stream as well, first of all, thank you. Love that from you guys as well. But to update you over on the A stream, VP have taken map number 1 in that series over Tyloo, 13-7 on Tyloo's map pick of Inferno, no less. So VP, despite all their problems, might be about to take down a pretty hot informed Tyloo side. I have to see it. Of course, they're playing Overpass there as well. That's VP's pick. And first Overpass in a while in official Counter-Strike too.
Welcome back.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome back. I'm actually so happy it's back. I'm a big Overpass fan. I really was not happy when Dusty replaced it. So I'm glad it's back in the pool.
Of all the maps.
Yeah, I know. Come on. Let's get this ass out of here. Speaking of as well, when will Inferno go? That is the question we ask ourselves.
I bet you ask yourself that every day.
Daily. I wake up.
I've known
seething,
you long enough now.
Seething. Inferno's still in the pool? God damn it. But we're live after the tech, followed by the tack. Torsen taking outside control. He needs to be careful on the edge of the smoke as well. Look who's lurking. JT gets one, gets out. He dealt damage, but he's somehow still thriving, still breathing, and still in play. Takes even more damage from the heavens. Grim on Mustang finds PR and Rez. This round, in a matter of mere moments, surely done, unless we have another big 2vx situation.
This one would be even more mental than the last, and indeed it will be shut down before it gets going. Now, I suppose it's a 1vx, but Torsen pretty far away from the action. Not a lot of time. He needs the element of surprise to probably win this one, but he just doesn't have time to play around that, so maybe take one down with him. The actual round itself, I don't think is going to happen. He's baiting out the death cam a little bit, but they are not chomping. Needs to keep him at bay. A Molotov as well, and that'll definitely get the job done. So here we are. Complexity, proving capable. Timeout pays dividends. They do have a quick charge from GamerLegion that just works right into their setup. So perfect parameters for them to play around. All the same, keeping things even and much hotter on the heels, and maybe a chance for them to even take the lead here, which, you know, would be the first time in the series.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe just something to build upon as well. Money's not going to be completely at a wit's end for GL, but yeah, bit of a weird round, I think, all in all, for GamerLegion. They just caught off guard in quite a few instances. Kersey in towards the AWP, but same for Holzerk as well. So I'm right in saying the first time we get a real head-to-head between these two, it's Holzerk who opens things up, takes damage through the flames, but still alive, and that's ultimately all that matters. PR gonna sneak through, and this is something that GamerLegion have been getting away with a lot. This lower site presence, whether it's through Secret or down through vents, maybe making their way and just getting in the backlines. Torsen gonna find a big kill as well, so JT can't get away with these antics towards outside any longer. And PR, all he actually has to be is an insurance policy. A waiting game at 6. He's got one of his own as well. And that's the bomb, no less. Rez will fall, the big man himself. And Molly towards outside. He's going to get a second behind it. Flank upon flank. It's carnage here in Nuke. Map number 2, and 60. He might be on for the third as well. Torsen's just lurking below, but it's Grim who comes for support. This round is done, so PR's push through vents was all for naught.
Well, here we go. Complexity. There is still life in the old dog yet. And they will take a lead here. And they will look good while doing so, to be honest. GamerLegion have had the wind just ripped out of their sails. So, start to worry a bit for them now that this T-side might struggle to find those final couple of rounds just to make it satisfying. Complexity keeping things interesting here, and this is it, man. Staying present, staying in the game. We can talk about it and be like, yeah, it should be a 2-0 now, you know, this is a great map for GamerLegion, but they have to be very careful not to have come into this map with that kind of mindset. Things can change in an instant, and Complexity looking to be the proponents of that. So far, so good, and we see them, I'd say for the first time in the series, with some real decent control and a chance to lock GamerLegion out for the rest of the half.
Yeah, absolutely. Now there's maybe a look in as well where GamerLegion might call for a pause of their own. I wouldn't even hate the idea. Looks like they're just going to go in, back in for round number 8 without too much discussion. But yeah, they were very much sideswiped in that one, and it really did cost them. So, triple AK, the Eagle, and a Tech 9. It's not the worst buy in the world as well. We saw Cole win a few of these rounds in their very sparse success in the first half of Inferno. With the Tech 9s and the drive-by, and they might even use ZTR in that sense as an information gatherer. They're going towards our side, and they're going to dry again. This is something that they're going to go actually in front of the smoke, so they catches JT off guard, but Nyx is here to meet them and greet them through the flames. He'll find Torsen. And Kersey looking to split in towards A. It's 60, backside, Alt Vent, who's got a lot to do to lock it down. And Kersey might just continue this roll round. He will now get the support 60. Grim's come through, and Grim will find the kill on ZTR. Up the vents, into the thick of it. Numbers advantage now for the Americans.
It all rides on this man. Kersey in behind. He's being watched for. Oh, 60 with an overstep. It's even better for Kersey now. He nets his. And the advantage swings in. There's a man downstairs. They know that. There's a man hanging around heaven. But in which angle is he going to come up? Kersey oversteps. The discipline is missing here in this round for sure. And it allows Complexity maybe that slim chance that they were looking for. You know, 2 versus 3 separated up on the retake. You don't fancy it. But now, 2 on 2, they're a little more confident. However, Rez will pin him. And Holzer can't get through. So, just bailing themselves out. It's a big steal from GamerLegion.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it really, in a way as well, it's so surprising to see it flip like that. Oh, PR. Only a pixel to work with, but Nyx gets clipped. GamerLegion, they needed that, right? Things were looking shaky. Things were looking kind of dire for a moment as they started to lose a bit of control. I love that move to go before the smokes actually plume. JT's trying to be proactive, and it costs him. If he was actually a bit more patient there, wait for the smokes to go down, and then starts to play around, probably still alive, but that's all easy to say with the benefit of hindsight. Tied again, 4-4. And generally speaking as well, as much as it's even on paper, it's good signs that we're seeing GamerLegion look really quite active here on the T side. What do they got for us? Kersey. Horzek, and the head-to-head is Kersey, who comes out on top, and he makes it 2 as well. Brilliant work as Nyx also gets found. That's why they picked this youngster up. We've spoken about this lower lurk presence. Here's Torsen once again. That's it. Surely you just save here, by the way. JT, Grim, got no money left in the coffers, right? Nothing left in the bank. Just keep hold of the MP9 and the AUG. That's all you can do.
Yeah, and they will back away to do that. Very nicely followed by the drone cam, but ultimately the round does not look good for them. So the ever-shifting pendulum of Counter-Strike swings back towards GamerLegion here, and they're in with a very good chance of netting a nice T-half. This is kind of the problem that, yes, this map has started moving more towards that T side, but I think Complexity, given their circumstance, given that this could be the last map of the series for them, they would probably have wanted to take that clean 2 rounds, turn it into 4, maybe, and they had an opportunity to do that. They let that previous one slip, of course, and it's now cost them a big shift in momentum.
Okay, so, Cole, what are we really doing in response? Especially with only 2 staying alive as well, and it being an Organ and MP9. It's, first of all, slightly weird buy to kind of try and facilitate, and also they just don't have the money to work. If they have 3 staying alive, we could actually tempt with drops coming through, but 2 or less means that it's not really financially viable. So a couple of P250s for Horzek and 60. It's basically as good as it gets in terms of support. Round number 10 should go the way of GamerLegion. Should be them. Up to 6 in this first half. And well, once again, they're going to go testing towards ramp. I don't blame them. They've had good success here. So why not look again? Molotov down. And Nyx forced back. Not really a lot he can do. He tries to fight through the flames briefly, but he's just so low. This nade will soften up a few, and look who's here. Ready to meet them. Rez for 2. Grim does get his 1, but only as PR finds a double of his own and shuts down this low by. Nothing gets going for Cole in round number 10. And now 1 versus 4 for 60. And realistically, what can he do here? Bar a consolation kill, that's as good as it gets.
ZTR, pretty funny for him that he was just desperately trying to get one of those eco kills, but they were all gone by the time he made it there. So, yeah, very quick and dominant exchange there from GamerLegion. 60 on the slow creep. I think he is after this gun, you are correct, but which one is he going to get? The AUG is workable. And he should be able to survive with it, so there is that at the very least. It's a small boon for a rough run of rounds here. GamerLegion moving up to 6. This is the scoreline that we really quite like for that T side. If they can hit 7 or 8, you maybe would start to worry for complexity into that second half. So, going to have to be a keen bounce back here. Lovely little angle for the AUG to work. Now revealed his location, however, and they are after him, so his days and his weapon may well be numbered. Oh my goodness, there's so much utility left to force him out, and he will go down.
Nice work. Well, this is starting to get to a position of being really quite uncomfortable. Opening doors looking very, very good as well for GamerLegion. Bar JT, everybody else is struggling on call, and they're going to call for their second timeout. This was a similar position they were in Inferno. They've done better than Inferno, which is the good news, and that's the first bit, which at least we'll take. But in terms of the vibes and the feeling, GamerLegion now still have the chance to put up a very, very solid first half on the T side, no less, on a map in which has generally always been revered as very, very CT-sided. And sure, of course, those narratives have changed for Nuke as of late. Teams are really figuring out how to make the T side look quite comfortable, but even still, on your CT, Cole should be putting up some level of a success, and sort of anything less than 5 is actually considered a pretty bad half. Go back underway. Penultimate round here of the half, and GamerLegion have the ability to really build a stable lead before heading in towards the CT side on their map pick. 60 gonna try and sit inside the fence. He's on the ladder and he won't find him, so PR can't get away with his antics this time. They've adapted and they found.
Yeah, there you go. Peekaboo on the other side of the smoke, and I think couldn't have been any worse for PR. The smoke ended at the perfect spot, or rather imperfect, depending on which side you were on. Either way, GamerLegion man down to kick things off. 60 as well. Where is he? Could be truly anywhere. Holzerk spots the knees and will indeed take Rez down a few feet. 60 does fall as he gets giddy. JT on the off angle here. Will this be expected? A dry move in towards Secret does not go well, but the trades come in thick and fast. 2 versus 2 after such a keen start. And again, a chance for GamerLegion to steal victory from the jaws of defeat here. Nyx downstairs, ready and waiting in another off angle. Where are they going to take this bomb?
Ooh. I thought they might be tempted to go back up towards the top side. That would be a bold call. He's got to anchor in a huge way here. Head spotted, door open. Oh, but he's going to get both, Nyx. What a round from him. Needed somebody to step up, and there he is. He's struggled a little bit since his tenureship in Complexity, but that's a huge 1v2 to win for him individually on the site. Of course, a 2v2 overall, but also was nowhere near to support in that sense. Big one to find, and GamerLegion going to call for a timeout of their own. They just want that guarantee of a lead before heading in towards the second half, and understandably so. But good work from Nyx. Weird off angle, as you touched on, and it's one that they just couldn't quite piece together. I think comms were probably a little cluttered there when he found that first kill in towards radio. But I think all Ash really needs to reinstill is really good spot. Things are looking fine. We're not under really that much pressure just yet. Even if they are the final round of the half as well, we're still doing all right. Don't stress. Don't get too in your heads. We're doing good. We're still in the lead, and also in terms of the feeling and the momentum of this map, still in a really, really good position to be in. A final bite. AKs across the board, just a Galil for ZTR as he prioritizes utility. No warp on the flip side for Complexity either, and look at this move as well towards outside.
Holzerk ready. Flash comes in, but he's still set. He's got backup as well. Oh, man, what a beautiful setup. JT for 2. There will be a trade-off in towards Mini. Can they do anything with it? I think the answer is going to be no, and pretty decisively. Really nice final round there from Cole. So they keep things close here in terms of the scoreline. I think they will be very happy with that. Much, much improved from Inferno.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a lovely 1-2 punch towards outside as well. Jose playing up close. The flash finds him, but his crosshair trained already. And the inability to trade because JT's holding at range. Beautiful. That's what we want to see from Complexity. Still a long old road to take this, but for now, 6-all, and that recovery, we'll take it. We're going to head to a break. We'll see you soon. We are back. The playing field is level here on Nuke. 6-all at the half as well. A decent little recovery, a couple of rounds at the end for Complexity to tie things up. But a lot more required from them. They now head on towards the seaside, which at times can be difficult to get going. His pistol's got to have something special behind it. Oh, Rez and Torsen, they start well. Torsen once just slipped the net, but he might follow him downstairs. And it might be at the cost of his life. Actually, it's Rez here. He just has got the timing as 60's committed away, so it's ring around the roses. Rez is in between. He's thread the needle, but he's run out of ammo. He's still fighting and he'll lose his head. What is happening? Bomb goes down. The chaos continues. This map has been carnage from the get-go, and it might be more of the same. Julie's cannot do it again, so Nick stopped at 2. 3 versus 2 ensues. Make that a 2 versus 2. PR, he might overlook 60. What is happening, Scriv?
This is crazy. 4 versus 3 turn 1 on 2. The CT side have seemingly let the ball slip. Kersey's got to check all the angles and he just cannot get it done. Huge round for Complexity, and you can see some great energy maybe brought back in. They don't want to look too happy. They don't want to overreact, but that was a really, really keen recovery from them, and a lot of heads-up fights, actually, which I think is very impressive. that they're able to individually outgun the side of GamerLegion, who look so good on map number 1 and pretty good in this first half as well.
I think that's the way they've got to approach this as well for complexity. You just got to be so assertive in a map like this one, this seaside. I think you've really got to make them feel uncomfortable in your pace, your tempo changes, the way in which you want to kind of utilize aggression and whatnot. And that pistol round's quite indicative of that exactly, right? You know, we're flying into fights, we're sticking as a pack and a unit, and we're just making trades really awkward. GamerLegion, they will force in themselves. They're hoping really that because he can soften them up or just find that straight headshot. And B9's up close as well. Hang on a second. PR's found 2. Uh-oh. Dropping down from the heavens. Torson's the 5-7 delivers to 1v5 for JT. Oh, Nuke. This is why I love you.
Indeed. I mean, it just hands itself to so many insane rounds. JT's location now known. He does find a nice kill there. Faking things out a little bit. I think Rez will have heard him now, though. He's just trying to take some guns. Aggressively save, you might call it. He knows with so much time left on the clock, he's going to have to fight his way out of this. Can he do just that? Creeping around here. Spotted from behind and finished off from the side. It's actually ZTR to get it. We've got some screaming coming in. That is a big, big round, though, from GamerLegion. I mean, arguably, in some ways, if you break it down, bigger than winning the pistol, because you just demolish the economy, especially denying a bomb plant away. You get your hands onto a couple of AKs, too. Really, really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. My, oh my. Yeah, for GamerLegion. Having a lot of fun there as well, but you're so right, it's such an important round to be taken, more so than the pistol, as you mentioned, because you put yourself now with a nice amount of breathing room, and that's ultimately all that really matters here. Smoke down towards single, which is open. So TR just going to tuck himself in towards Venge. They're swinging out. Labit spray going to come through. JT will fall, so will Nix, as ZTR is looking to line them up. Rez will come in for support. Julie's pulled out as well, and it should be done. Thankfully it is. Little Labid, maybe a little bit more expensive than GamerLegion would have liked, but a round is a round. A win is a win. And they're getting ever closer to the 2-0 now.
Looking clean. And this is one of the things, that CT brick wall effect, I think is going to be hard for Cole to get through. Still having a good time, I suppose. Enjoying the competition and what it brings, but maybe need a little more depth from this team to give them a chance. We'll see. Not going to happen in this round, of course, as they will be onto the upgraded pistols. Can they take a gun away is what they might be after. PR says no. Been doing his spray practice, and he will hold ramp nice and easy. Super, super clean round, and really great for just getting that money going.
Yeah, exactly. Having a bit of fun with it as well. You see the smile starting to ring through. This is, as we head back into a buy round as well for Complexity, this is basically the most important round it feels like they've played so far in this map. You lose this, it's GamerLegion who lock in double digits and actually probably get the 11th as well as a bit of a gift, because that economy gets shattered again and it puts you in a horrible, horrible spot. So it's not quite now or never, but at this current trajectory, we've got, what, maybe 2-3 with a force buy of gun rounds left for Cole. That's not the way you want to kickstart your journey here at IEM Cologne. Only damage though, held over towards ZTR. Sub 50 for him. Kersey under pressure, but up close. Rez, he's got to do better there, and he can't quite find it. Rez and PR both fall. Kersey gets one, deals damage as well, and towards a second, and he's still sticking around. He got the right idea. And ZTR reclaiming space, but his crosshair trained a little too high. Grim's not that tall.
Down to a lull here. Kersey with a catch, just playing a little wild. As he will get a big kill, actually. That was one of the healthier players, if not the only healthy player. So, an overlooked angle could cost an awful lot here. You can see Torson down below is hidden away, ready for the bomb to come his way. Is that going to be the case, right? It's been hanging around for a little while. I think they are really just hoping that Kersey reveals himself once again with an overstep. Are they going to know that these players are low? Is he going to get the timing? Oh, they've just crept through the smoke. Is it good? Is it bad? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The gap was there to spot the back of that player and he just isn't able to do so. However, the plant comes in quick enough that he hears it. They might not expect him to be in towards Mini so fast. And I think they must not know how low everybody is, right? Because they are just moving to save now.
Even if it was like a 1v3 for Torsen with his full HP, the HE as well, he can find the bulk of the kills that alone. But yeah, I think you're right. It must be unconfirmed damage in a sense. Tentative to give it a look in. They're going to go for exits. Down vent as well. So Kersey should have a gift there. If you want to save, of course, being that low, you've got to get your way all the way to secret. And there we go. There's one. Ollie down as well. And he will recover the AK. Need just in case he was lurking around, but that's a huge round for Complexity to take. Like we said, you lose that and you put yourself in a lot of trouble. Thankfully they don't. There's still life left in this game, absolutely, but we know, and everyone watching at home knows just how on a knife's edge that was. If Kersey was 1 or 2 steps ahead of where he actually was, he probably catches 1 if not 2 players.
All right, let's see. Can Complexity seemingly pull off the impossible as we all thought coming into this second map? Definitely making it look like they can. Decent damage to kick things off. They will send one down secret, not fully committing at this point, but control of the round. It feels like Complexity are the ones directing this.
Smoke down. Trickle down smoke as well, which just keeps Rez at bay, but they walk straight into Kersey, who's looking for more, and he'll get it. He just about gets out, but that's all that matters. At the same time, ZTR going to find an aborting kill of his own. Kersey maybe an overface there. Staying alive will probably be more valuable in this spot. Of a minute to work with, we're now into a 2v2, and everything resets because they're going to lose track of where Complexity go.
Another freeze here from Complexity. Sometimes does work quite well for them. It certainly did in the previous round. We follow closely with Torsen. Oh, that was his chance. And he goes down. Feels like the round along with him. ZTR doesn't quite know where to go now as well. They're in that crossroads. Could go B, could go A. He's going to bank on A. Similar to last round. Ash keenly watching behind here to see if the IGL can pull it off. Doesn't spot them outside. 15 seconds. I mean, timing everything. Oh, they're towards him as well. The Molotov comes in. He's not going to burn to it, so they don't know that he's up there, but he can't stop the bomb going down, and he gets a little too close for comfort. Singes his toe hairs off, and they will be ready for him. So down he goes, and now it's even.
Oh man, that's another round which is again down to fine margins and Complexity. It feels like that's a real experience play there for, you know, I have to come back to it. Kersey, that overfacing towards heaven, I think that's the one real thing that cost them. That fight there, it's a 3 versus 2, and you know they're towards outside. All he has to do is actually just lock down that position more than anything. But he swings back in after getting 2 nice kills, right? I think it's his individual confidence is looking good. It's an overfight, it's an overface, and it does cost them for me. So, tough old predicament. Complexity, lifeline extended, hence why we go for this tack pause as Ash enters on the mic. Yeah, you got to feel for them though. That's a tough one to let slip like that. Complexity, this door's wide open to push this towards Dust 2 now. GamerLegion, technically speaking, they're really on the back foot.
Yes. Game under threat. Lacking bits of control. I figured, you know, we'd swap over and things might get a lot harder for Complexity, but they are up to the challenge, it would seem. Really utility out from both sides here. Nice Molotov. Actually slows them down a lot, gives a lot of space across to GamerLegion to get into the thick of it, and that seems to be maybe a major part of what they've talked about here. Around the smoke they will go. Kersey, gotta watch for this. Oh, they don't check him at all, though. He gets away with absolute murder. kept res as well to stay alive, so solid stuff there to hold outside. Still a chance for Complexity, as they have gained that outside control. Could drop in towards Secret if they wanted. Got a man behind the vent who's looking to thread the needle and be the hero that they need. A lot of time left on the clock here, but he's just going to play the patient game. It seems to be going well for Complexity when they pull these freezers.
Lobby crunch. Looking at good. They're in the back line here. This is a gift. It's a gift which is a little laboured, but a gift nonetheless. PR could be two here. They're both knife out. Oh, that's a bad time to not be guns at the ready. Celebrations as Ash gets loud, and we figure out how to do a high five as well. So working that one out bit by bit. The GamerLegion, nice round to be taken. Another opening kill for Kersey. That's how his 5th opening kill. He's 5-0 in opening duels. So he is really making a statement here on Nuke.
Let's go, man!
Huge celebrations, though. And Cole, they'll dip in towards their 3rd and final tactical timeout as well. In regulation, that is. Of course, if we get towards overtime, they get another. But let's hold our horses on that thought for now. It's double digits for GamerLegion, 3 away from taking the series as well. And Cole are in a weird spot. You know, it's a timeout called, but you look at the finances across the board, it looks like they're going to go for the gamble of the buy. This is the definition of the gamble, though. Might even just be a hero AK, armor upgraded pistols alongside it. So, Script, the feeling is similar to the narrative of Now or Never. It looks like actually a bit of a sell has come through, actually. That is definitely a smart call. Hero AK can get behind. Full buy with upgraded pistols around a Hero AK this late into a map. That's where I'll question it. This, sure, why not take the risk? I don't hate this.
Yeah, I don't know. The Hero AK has kind of crept back in this year. I'm not sure that I am a fan of the concept. I know that some people are. I think for me, it does feel like an oversell in your own belief, and I don't know, you can still buy like a weaker weapon, but I'm more a fan of like consistency and a game plan that has more flow to it rather than the sporadic and spontaneous choices. And as if to prove my point, Holzer will go down here, but maybe we keep track of it for this tournament, see how successful those Hero AKs are. Grim will recover it. He's got no armor, so you don't worry about him so much. PR making it look easy. Molotov comes in to help him as well, so this should be all but over here in round number 20.
Yeah, they know where both are. Damn it, though, JT dropped, and they know exactly where Nyx was. And surely as well, because you've heard that AK, you have to go hunting. I don't think he's going to get out of here alive. And, well, he's been spotted on the cross to start things off. It'll come through. Just the 1 point of damage, but yeah, there's no surviving this. The onslaught will come through. A flawless round for GamerLegion. 11-9 now. 2 rounds ahead. 2 rounds away from the map and the series. And a beautiful, bountiful start to IEM Cologne here in stage 1 for GamerLegion. Complexity, they're in a spot where they're starting to be left sort of reeling a little bit. We've got triple Galil, 1 AK for Grim, and Holzerk, who Hero bought the AK in the previous round. He's left on just a Tech 9 here.
Ugly, very ugly buy here, especially one that is supposed to keep you in the game. Here's he getting aggressive outside. Once again, bites off far more than he can chew. Very greedy boy will get taken down, so man advantage for this weaker buy.
Well, outside control's good here, despite Horzek finding a kill. Rez, 1 tap for the first and a second behind it as well. Another towards outside somewhere, but Torsen needed that shot and it slips. ZTR 1v3. Complexity aren't done just yet.
Can he pull it off? Starts as damage. Not even going to get the first, so here we go. Complexity have bought themselves a lifeline.
Oh my.
They look good while doing so. Very, very curious now as to what they have got left in store. Same for GamerLegion, actually.
Yeah, I feel like the GamerLegion just get a little bit giddy there. They want to be taking fights and putting pressure on. They want to just seal the deal there and then, but They want the fights, but they actually just give opportunities towards Complexity, and it's opportunities they'll take with open arms. So 1-round game, 11 to 10. Much better map out of Complexity, right? You know, this is coming back to what you were talking about, that even despite losing 2 out of 3 of the last 3 times they played Nuke at Fissure last week, they were close games, and this is looking like another one of that. ZTR going to be overlooked as well. JT finds one, but rests quick on the trade. So numbers still stay in GamerLegion's favor, but A-Site lost.
Bomb plant. What do you do from here? Do you want to go for it? Do you want to maybe attempt to save? It maybe all depends indeed on PR's move. He felt good. He will take Grim, but he drops back. So space being actually conceded despite the 4 versus 2. Not looking to get too giddy, and it works. It works nicely. I think he had the information on where those last 2 players were. No need to give them anything. Really important round, really important moment, and it goes perfectly for GamerLegion to pick up number 12. This has been harder work for sure, but still in the hands of GL.
Exactly that. 1 away now as well, and I mean a bomb plan as well will help Cole in a way financially, but mentally, I don't know what to say. And you know, it helps them in a sense. Holzerk 60, they'll get AKs. Grim on towards a Galil, but it's a double deagle to round out the buy for Cole. So another ugly one they've got to try and make work, and did it a few times in towards Inferno, a couple of times here on Nuke, but relying on these is not where you want to be. Oh my, the Orpakurzi actually got lucky to get away there alive.
Rez. Oh, he looked away, didn't he, at the worst time, but superior weaponry will still favor him. Clean spray down there. Not a lot of Holzerk available to hit, in fact.
Yeah, no room for error there at all.
Yes. Beautiful find. But he is traded, so we'll see. Complexity fighting tooth and nail to stay alive here on Nuke.
I like this from ZTR. It's a non-contact, it's a spot play. So now they know 60's down here. And then you're 60. The question is, where do we go? Oh my, Nyx is so lucky to get away alive. Grim, same can't be said for him. They're stomping around the vent. They've got to commit towards this lower site. Doors open for ZTR as well. And sub 40 seconds. They've got to try and get this bomb down. 60 being spotted, and he nails a shot on towards ZTR. So life left in them still. The new boys, a dynamic duo, have got to come alive here. A 2v4 turn 2v3. Still no upgrade for Nyx just yet, but there is a gun down there for him to wield. With the flash, still opting for the deagle. So all the onus is on 60, and he goes to try and collect the gun, and that'll be at the cost of his life. What has 60 got for us? Nothing's the answer. Kurzi to close map and series. GamerLegion 13 to 10. They take their pick of Nuke, and they start their journey here in Cologne, the Cathedral of Counter-Strike.